boy, the one with the scar in his face, your boy Scarface. And I want to welcome you guys back to another episode. Thank you guys so much for always tuning in every week, sharing the clips, commenting on the clips, leaving us a 5-star review, thumbs up, wherever the case may be, wherever you're listening to. If you can just do that for us, I would really, truly appreciate that, just because it does help the podcast out. And if you want to continue to help out the podcast, not only do we sell merch, link is also in the description, is we also have pins. We also sell these pins, the Sleeping Goku, Straight Razor, and we have a baseball right there. Maybe eventually I'll get one that says Sucia or something like that. Sucios. Excuse me. But definitely, again, thank you. A shout out to everyone who comes over from the TikToks, IG videos, you name it. You guys are awesome. You guys support this podcast very well, and it motivates me to continue making content for you guys. But something that has been popular in the TikToks lately is things that people let your partner get away with in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. I always say in the TikToks too, you have to nip it in the bud right away. Don't wait, because the more you wait, the more they can get away with, and they'll feel like they can get away with more because you never brought some certain things up. When something bugs you right away, or if there's an issue, it's better to bring that up and have that conversation. And if that conversation ends up scaring the person off, scaring the guy off, scaring the girl off, then that's fine. That person was going to leave eventually. It was only a matter of time. We want to be scaring off the wrong people. Because if you bring up an issue that you didn't like, and if they're into you, the conversation should go, hey, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm going to try to fix that. Not be like, why are you always complaining? Why are you always bitching? No, none of that. That's why I always say bring it up. And there's no easy way to bring it up. There's no easy way to bring up certain things like, you do this, you do that. There's no right way. Just whatever you decide, however you decide to bring it up, how they're going to react. You could have said it the nicest way possible, and they would have reacted like that. You could have said it really mean, and that's how they're going to react. Like, say, for example, if you don't want to be with this person and you tell them, hey, in the nicest possible way, I don't want to be with you, they're going to get upset. Like, if they were going to get upset, doesn't matter how nice you said it. That's why if you have issues, bring it up. And the reason I wanted to do this podcast episode is because I wanted to shed light on certain things that a lot of people let others get away with in a relationship. And it's something that you should bring up right away. If it bugs you right away, let them know, because in the beginning, that's when they're going to fix situation, like certain things, certain issues, if they want to be with you. You spending a lot of time with them already, they're not going to want to change, or it's going to be harder to be like, well, shit, I already got you. Like, why am I going to change that? I've always been like this. Why are you complaining about it now? So that's why it's things that you should bring up sooner rather than later. So one of the first things that we're going to bring up is, I know this one's big for you guys, especially the girls. Lack of communication. Discuss the importance of open and honest communication in a relationship. Highlight that it's essential not to let your partner get away with avoiding important conversations or shutting down communication channels. And this communication should, like something like that, should be brought up right away. Don't let him, he's just a guy, he doesn't really like to communicate. No, help him open up. If he's really into you, he's going to open up. He's going to talk about certain things. You letting him get away with not having these awkward, like, sometimes the guy will get mad and take off. But as soon as he comes back, have that conversation. Keep having that conversation. Because eventually he's either going to, one, he's going to leave, and because he doesn't really see a future with you, or two, he's going to open up. He's finally going to get mad enough where he just opens up and just tells you. And that's how it happened to me before. Like, I remember my ex would always constantly be not nagging, but constantly trying to get that out of me, always. And I finally, the way it would come out, it was that I forgot how I called it. I would almost, it came in spurts. I'd be like, she'd keep telling me things like, what's bugging you, this and that. And finally I would just out of nowhere be like, it's because of this, it's this, finally, I would snap at her. That's what I was trying to say. They would come in snaps like that. And then eventually it came to the point where I was pretty open on talking about a lot of things, and it's helped me now a lot, having those open conversations, those communication with that person. But this is something that you need to bring up in the beginning. You can't let people get away with a lot of these things. Like, oh, he just doesn't want to talk about it right now. I'm not trying to have that conversation because we just started dating, yada, yada, yada. No, have those conversations because, again, if the more you let him get away, and the more later on it's going to be more difficult to talk about certain things and be like, why do you want to talk about it now? And if you bringing up the communication thing scares that person away, again, you're only going to scare off the wrong people. Somebody who doesn't want to be with you is going to scare them off. Someone who wants to be with you, who wants to make it work, guess what? Especially in the beginning, they're going to try to make it work. They're going to try to like fix whatever situation. Because if I'm into somebody and I'm trying to make something work with somebody, and then you tell me, hey, this is bugging me, I'll be like, oh shit, my bad. I didn't know I was doing that. Or hey, like, I'm going to try to change that for you. But if I'm not really into that person, I'm going to be like, this is too much for me. I'm out. So again, that's why I say bring it up. Don't be afraid to bring it up. Number 2 is disrespect. Explore different forms of disrespect in a relationship, such as belittling comments, dismissive behavior, or violating boundaries. Stress the importance of establishing mutual respect as a foundation for a healthy relationship. And like, I don't understand how some of these guys talk to some of these girls. Like, some of the things they say, I'm like, why would you tell her, or why would you say it like that? Why are you disrespecting her like that? Um, calling them certain names. The only time I like disrespect you like is in the bedroom, girl. But other than that, treat you like a queen. Uh, but saying certain things, disrespecting them, like calling them certain names, belittling them, controlling them, like all sorts of all this stuff, you can see it in the beginning, girl. Like if you guys get into an argument, like one of your guys' first argument, and he calls you a bitch, and you don't like that, no, you need to nip that in the bud. Be, tell him, hey, next time you call me that, this is over. You will never call me that again. And just things like that. Stop. Don't let these people get away with belittling you, giving you those comments, uh, controlling, like all these things that you let them get away with in the beginning. They're only going to get bigger over time. Like it's only going to get worse and worse. And if you don't nip that in and it scares them, who cares? You again, I mentioned it before. You want to scare the people who are not for you. I would never, you know, I did it one time where I called an ex a bunch of names just because of the situation, and that's not me. That's not how I talk to, especially women. And so eventually, it was like a few years later, I emailed her telling her I was sorry for saying the things I said because that's not me. That's not. I never called the girl that. I was just so furious at that moment that I just started calling her all sorts of names and yelling at her. And that's not me. Like I said, that's not me. So that's why I had to apologize for that. Uh, but if I would have say I just barely started talking to a girl and I talked to her like that, no. If a guy talks to you like that especially in the very beginning, what makes you think it's gonna get better? Like honestly, think about it. What makes you think it's gonna get better? Like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everything's gonna completely change and he's gonna be the best guy ever, treating you with all sorts of respect. Come on, let's be realistic, girl. And guys too. Don't let these girls disrespect you too. Like I've seen some of these girls like disrespect some of these guys and they don't say anything. Hell no. I would not be with a girl if they disrespect me like that in like in any sort of way. If I'm respectful to you, I expect to be respected back, and no belittling comments, nothing like that. So I remember I was talking to a girl one time and she said some disrespectful stuff, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. And it didn't end up work. And whoever she's with now, I don't know, but hopefully she changed her ways because some of the shit she said, I was like, that's very. And then she would talk shit about everybody. Like there wasn't one person that she wouldn't talk shit about, and I'm just like, why are you like that? Why are you so negative? So disrespect is a huge one because if they disrespect you in the very beginning, they're going to keep disrespecting you, and they're gonna be okay with it. Like especially in the very beginning, I always emphasize that a lot. In the very beginning, that's where you have to catch it and stop it. Anything, because eventually, like 2 years down the road, it's not going to be as easy to stop. So, just letting you guys know. The next one we have is emotional neglect. Talk about the significance of emotional connection and support in a relationship. Address behaviors such as ignoring your partner's feelings, invalidating their emotions, and neglecting their needs. Again, this has to be taken care of in the beginning because And anytime, not just in the beginning, anytime you don't get what you want, meaning like if they're there for you in the beginning and then they get comfortable with you and they're not as there anymore, be like, no, like what happened to you? Like, like I don't like how you were didn't really care. No, bring that up every time. That way you get the same amount of emotional connection each time something is happening. Because again, if you let things slip and slide, oh, it's fine. Oh, this maybe next time he'll eventually get, but he's going through some. No, come on now. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. It's very rarely gone like uh been shitty in the beginning and then turned perfect out of nowhere. Like think about it. Think about your past relationships. Like if it started shitty, did it did it eventually get perfect or such a good relationship? No. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. Have I seen it? Nope. So that's why I said like if you feel like your emotions are being neglected in the beginning, what makes you think that they're gonna change 2 years together, 3 years together? Like when you guys get more comfortable together, he's gonna, oh, she's mad. I'm gonna go do this because she's mad. Oh, this is bothering her. I'm gonna go like be away from, no, instead of trying to figure out what's going on and being there for you, they're more than likely just gonna be like, oh, like in the beginning, anytime she was upset, I would just leave, and just like things like that. Like they need to also pay attention to your needs, um, because they will eventually get worse and worse and worse. And to go from really bad back to really good, again, let's be realistic, rarely happens. So if you see them not being emotionally connected with you or they struggle with that, you need to fix that as soon as you catch on to it, as soon as you notice it. That way things don't slip. Again, if I'm into you, I'm going to change my, like, not change my ways because how I am, but if I somewhere in something, I'm gonna try to fix it if I like you. If I don't like you, then I'm gonna be like, this girl's complaining about way too much. My ass is out. So that's why I said don't be afraid. It doesn't matter how good looking this guy is, how whatever. Like if don't be blinded by these red flags. Don't make sure these boundaries do not get blurry. Be like, oh, it's fine. Oh, he'll get better. No, the more you let people get away with, the more they're going to take advantage. And then eventually, when you want to change that, it's going to be way more difficult. So just letting you know. Infidelity. Discuss the devastating impact of infidelity on a relationship and the importance of addressing it rather than sweeping it under the rug. Emphasize the need for transparency, accountability, and rebuilding trust after the affair. Now, if you want to do this, if somebody cheats on you and you want to do this and try to see if it's going to work, then go for it. There's different ways you can, you know, maybe that person got drunk one day and just messed up, right? They weren't, it's not like they were not happy. I don't know. See, that's difficult because if I got to the point where I wanted to cheat on somebody or step outside the relationship, something had to be happening, right? Uh, Ego, maybe, not happy in the relationship. Would I go back with somebody who cheated on me or try to make it work? Probably not. I already know. Like, I don't want to live knowing that, does this person still love that person? How many times did they hook up? How many times did they meet up? Are they still talking? Is he talking to somebody else? Does he love her? Uh, and things like that. Like, why put yourself through those issues in your head? Because it's always gonna live in the back of your head. It doesn't matter if it's been like 2 years down the road. It's still gonna come up every now and then. Uh, And just because you caught him the one time doesn't mean he didn't do it multiple times. Say he was cheating on, he's cheating. Some girls are like, oh, he was cheating. Um, we've been together for 15 years and I caught him cheating with a girl. You may have just caught him cheating with that girl. Could have been others, but he didn't get caught with those. Example, Jackie gave this great example when we did a podcast. If you haven't listened to that, definitely go check it out. It's the last one that we did together. She originally caught her baby daddy cheating, right? Talks about it all the time. But then after a few years later, now other girls started coming out saying like, hey, we were actually, I think she said there was another girl that said that they were hooking up while they were together. So you see, like she didn't know. until a few years later. So that's why I'm saying, like, just because you caught him the one time doesn't mean that was the only time. So, but if you want to try to make it work afterwards, there's gonna have to be a lot of communication, a lot of transparency, a lot of things. Sometimes this is where these shared social medias come in. Like, y'all seen them. Would I ever share a social media? Fuck no. Not because I'm hiding anything, because no. Oh, Edgar and so and so's. You know how dumb that looks? I mean, I'm just saying. It looks pretty dumb. It looks pretty pathetic. Um, unless you want to start like a family one, then okay, I get that. But having a shared one, like what the fuck? I don't know. Everybody has their things about it. So that's just my 2 cents. I would not want to share one. So that's just me. Um, Abuse. This is a big one. Address different forms of abuse, including physical, emotional, verbal, and financial abuse. Stress that abuse of any kind should never be tolerated in any relationship, and encourage listeners to seek help if they are in an abusive situation. Now, I always say this too: love shouldn't hurt. Okay. So if you're getting hit in any sort of way, that's not normal. I never laid my hands on a girl. Never, ever. Okay. And I don't plan to. Every time I see a girl, I see like not fragile, but like take care of this person, like protect this person, uh, make sure this person doesn't get hurt. Those are the things I see and feel towards somebody that I'm talking to, right? Uh, Never once has been like put her in her place type of person, um, hit her type of person. If she don't listen, boom, no, never. So any form of abuse, meaning like we'll talk about physical first. Any type of physical abuse, excuse me, definitely red flag. Definitely get out, because it's not good. It's That's how it starts. Maybe in the beginning it starts with a push, a throw, like a push throw. You know, a slap, a hair pull, throws something at you. Um, that's where it starts, right? Because now they did that. Next time they get upset, they might push it a little bit further. They might push it a little bit further. You know, so that's why I'm saying like it's only going to get worse. And again, you don't want to be in that type of relationship uh, where somebody is hitting you like that. Come on now. Like, imagine your daughter. Would you want your daughter to be in that type of situation? You know? So, and fellas, like, if you guys are listening to this and you hit your girl, just know karma is a bitch, and karma comes back in a bunch of different ways. It may not come back to you as in you get abused. What about your kids? um, that may be now they get karma because of what you were doing. You know what I mean? Like, especially a guy. If you have a daughter, would you want a guy hitting your daughter? You know, the guy that she's with abusing him. So just pay attention to that. Pay it like karma's a bitch. Abuse like that, you should call call the authorities, report it to people, get out of it as soon as you can, because again, it only gets worse. Now, emotional abuse. Emotional and verbal is kind of the same. Like things you say to that person, always being petty, disrespectful. I know somebody who I'm not gonna say who it is, but she sent me a message of her ex and how she was like, "Why does he always talk to me like this? Nobody else does he talk to like that, but always every time we have a conversation, this is how he talks to me." And she sent me an example, and I was just like, well, hurt people, you know. And since something's going on with him, he's obviously taking it out on you. Uh, but there's also those people who just want to be emotionally abusive. Just because they're not physically abusive, they might emotionally abuse you by disrespecting you, calling you all sorts of names, telling you how pathetic you are, how bad of a mom you are, like all sorts of stuff. Like that's how they'll abuse you. And that's something that she should not tolerate. So I told her too, like, because I don't know how to get him to stop exactly, because she kind of has to have some conversations with this person. But I told her, I was like, the moment any disrespect comes up, stop responding. don't even answer. Or if he like, as soon as that disrespectful message comes in, stop. And then he'd be like, "Why did you stop messaging me?" Well, because you disrespect me. Now I'm not gonna tolerate that. And then just sticking to your guns every time. I would. If you guys are talking on the phone, abusive, like say something disrespectful, click. Call me back when you're done being disrespectful, or else I don't want to talk to you. And there's things like that you can do, but uh, there is that form of uh, emotional, not emotional, yeah, emotional and verbal abuse. Like they shouldn't be disrespecting you like that. Like, of course, I get it. Sometimes you guys get in an argument, you guys say some things back and forth, but it should not always be like you're a bitch, you're this, you're that, like you're a horrible mom, like boom, 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 like saying all these things, horrible person. No, and constantly trying to make you like push you down and push you down and push you down. That's absolutely not. Sometimes you get in an argument, you guys say some stupid shit, but then eventually you guys can like work that out. My bad for saying that. Like, and that that person really didn't like that you said some shit like that. So, and I didn't even think about the financial abuse one. Financial abuse, like I would say that this is more of when a guy's making you pay for everything, and he's either one not working, not helping to provide or anything, and just reliant on you. There's those guys out there, those little guys out there who just want to be taken care of. Would I be one of those? Fuck no. Imagine, oh, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. My girl works. She pays for everything. She does everything. That's kind of pathetic, if you ask me. I'm just saying, like, if that's your case, the shoe fits. I'm just saying. But don't let a guy like. There was this another TikTok that I did where a girl was saying that the guy would get mad if she wouldn't let him borrow money, and I said, stop letting him borrow money. He doesn't pay you back. He's not planning on paying you back because he's not working. But yet he's asking you for all this money and you're giving it to him. And I'm pretty sure if the money dries up, he's gonna tip out. And guess what? You ain't gonna see that money. You ain't gonna see that money. Ladies, if your man is struggling financially and you guys are doing like 50-50, I understand that. But if a guy is like making you feel guilty and like paying for, and not just another form of financial abuse is I, I buy you the soda and then you take the soda and then I hold the soda against you. Meaning like, damn, you're acting like that and I bought you a fucking soda. No. I never give a gift to somebody expecting it or me to expect anything in return or for me to be like, damn, like I got you this when like you didn't do shit or you haven't like and that's how you're gonna act. I've been doing this, I bought you this. No, there's those guys out there who use whatever they give to somebody and they hold it against them. Make them feel bad about it. And now the girl's like, oh well, he did give me that, and like now I gotta do this because he did give me something. No, no, never let a guy hold something against you like that. So any form of abuse like that, do not let them get away, especially in the beginning. If that man is asking you for a loan in the very beginning of the relationship, run, girl, run. Tell him to go to the fucking bank and get a loan. Like the nerve on some people to ask for money. I've never asked money from a girl, and I never plan to, unless it's like again. I've always said it like, hey, like we're getting into some sort of investment. I'm coming up with this money. You come up with this money. That way we can both, take some risk in it and both build some sort of empire together. So that's probably the only time I would ask a girl for money. Like say I came up with 20 and I need another 20K to do something. I'll be like, hey, like you trying to do this? You trying to be partners in this? And what's up? Uh, that's a little different. But you telling you to like asking you to money so I can go buy something to eat or something like that? No, absolutely not. Neglecting responsibilities. Explore the frustration can arise when a partner consistently neglects their responsibilities, such as chores, financial obligations, or childcare duties. Discuss the importance of equitable distribution of tasks in a partnership. So this one, I wouldn't say it's so much in the beginning, but if you start noticing things that they're not doing, bring it up. Especially like if they taking you out on dates every now and then, and then those slow down, that type of be like, yo, like how come we're going out? Let's like we don't need to go out to dinner. Maybe you do something at the park. Maybe at least some sort of date night. You know what I mean? Like some sort that it can be expensive, not expensive, something that costs you guys like $10 or something. But just having that date night. Um, so definitely like call them out on that. Uh, but like the other ones, like financial obligations, maybe tell them that you're looking for somebody that's going to be the primary breadwinner. Because what if he's like lazy as shit and not doing anything? But if he's into you, he's gonna be like, "Oh fuck, I gotta fix my situation. I don't want to be doing this." So now he goes and changes. Maybe he gets a job, and starts hustling, and things like that. And that could work out. So again, that one, any type of things that they neglect that they're supposed to be doing, even if it like when it's opening doors. And if they didn't open, like they at first when they're trying to impress you, they're opening doors, doing this, doing that, and then all of a sudden one time they just stop. Guess what? That's where it starts. Just standing outside the door. And she'd be like, "Why aren't you getting in? Well, you didn't open it." And then he'd be like, "Oh shit, my bad." Gets out, opens the door, and then now he's in his head, he's like, "Open the door. Doesn't matter how long we've been together." So it's just like things like that. So anything they neglect, make sure you guys bring it up, because the more you let time pass and them get away with some of these things, the harder it is to change the thing. Or like they're just gonna get comfortable and they're gonna be like, "Why are you complaining now?" We've all heard that. Why are you complaining now about it? So definitely bring that up. Um, Control and manipulation highlight warning signs of controlling and manipulative behavior in a relationship, such as gaslighting, jealousy, or isolation. Encourage listeners to recognize those red flags and set boundaries to protect themselves. If a man is telling you what to wear, like if he gets mad that you wear certain things, that man's not confident. If he gets mad that you want to go out with like your friends and stuff, he's probably not confident and probably insecure, because he's probably doing out shady, like he's out doing shady things. So this is something, it's hard because I don't know, like not every guy is the same, but if he if he tries to control, I would say like gaslighting. Obviously, he's gonna. A lot of narcissists in the beginning will paint this picture. Everything's super great, like wonderful, perfect guy, but then out of nowhere he just completely changes, and now you want that old version of him, and he'll make things seem like it's your fault. Like if you just behave better, things will go back to the way they were. Or if they blame you for everything, gaslight you, uh, things like that. That's also, pay attention to it and be like, no, that's not my fault. That's your fault. Like call them out on their BS. Don't let them talk all the shit to you. So, and then the other one, like the jealousy is hard, but it's something it's only gonna get worse over time. Like if they become, or if they are really jealous in the beginning, it's only gonna get worse. Anything you do is gonna be an issue. Going out with your friends is gonna be an issue. Even going with your parents is going to be an issue. Anything you do, what you wear is going to be an issue. People who follow you on social media is going to be, everything's going to be an issue. We've all seen it. Some of these people turn less and less and less of themselves because they're trying to please this other person, not wearing usually what they want to wear, because this person gets mad. Not going out with friends a lot because this person gets mad. Not going with family because this person gets mad. Uh, if you start seeing that, you better be like, "Hey, you need to chill the fuck out," or this is not gonna work out. I'm just going with friends. We're just gonna hang out. Like either we go our own ways, or you stop complaining about this shit. Like, cause I want to hang out with my friends. And just things like that. It's really hard. Like, cause if a person is jealous, they're gonna be jealous, and it's really hard to change that. But if it's something that you can bring up right away, I think you have more of a chance to help reassuring this person, that hey, like you need to chill out, or this is not gonna work. And the guy can be like, "Oh shit, like I'm not trying to scare her off. Like let me let me change my ways," or something like that. So definitely bring that up. And especially if you see it, and if you see it bad in the beginning, girl, it's only gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. So definitely like either leave, or I mean, if it's really bad, I would suggest leaving, just because. Do you think it's gonna get better? Like, come on, let's be honest. Be honest with yourself. Do you think it's gonna get better? I really doubt it. So definitely bring it up. Lack of support. Discuss the importance of supporting each other's goals, dreams, and inspirations in a relationship. Address the determining effects of a partner who undermines or dismisses their significant other's ambitions. Now, if you want to do things, I always like if I'm talking to somebody, I want to know like what their goals are, what they plan on doing, because if I can help support and push them in whatever I can or help them connect them with the right people, I'll do it. I'm supportive like that. Some like I've had the conversation, especially on the one-on-ones. There were some people who said they wanted to do a certain like business, but their man got upset that they wanted to do that business, saying like, "You don't need to do that. Why do you need to do that?" And things like that. Like, why not? They're trying to better themselves. They're trying to, have some sort of side hustle for them or business for them. Somebody who like doesn't want you to do that, kind of a red flag ish. Like why are you gonna try to? You can have these dreams, but I can't. If you plan on staying at home, then cool. That's your thing. But if you want to have like some sort of business and somebody who doesn't support you, doesn't who like a lot of these people who are super successful, especially couples, they're helping each other grow. Like, hey, like what can I do? Oh, I know this person. Let me connect you to this person. Oh, let's do this. Let's do this together. Like that way I can help you and things like that. Someone who's like, why do you want to do that? Like you don't need to do that. You know, pay attention to those things in the beginning because um, if they're not supportive in the beginning or the moment they don't become supportive, they're gonna be like that later on. Like, say out of nowhere, you want to be like, you see something and you want to start a side hustle, and they're be like, "Why do you want to do that?" Instead of someone be like, "Yeah, we can do it." Like, what do we need to do to get there? Like, what are the goals with this? Like, what are your goals with it? Just a side hustle, just a business? Like, how should we approach this? And things like that. Not somebody who's like, "Why do you need to do that?" So definitely pay attention to little things like that. Boundary violations. Talk about the necessity of establishing and respecting boundaries in a relationship. Address behaviors that cross boundaries, such as invasion of privacy, controlling behavior, or pressure to engage in activities against one's will. And see, I always say, like, some people become blurred to some boundaries because one, they romanticize this person, so they think that they're gonna live happily ever after. They see themselves in the future with this person. So if they mess up in the beginning or do some mess ups or red flag here, boundary violation here, it's okay because it's gonna get better. How they're playing it out in their head. No, it's not. That's why I'm saying like you have to stick with your guns. I've done it too before. Like when you're talking to somebody who fucking you feel like they're drop dead gorgeous, this, but then like there's certain things you're just like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's not cool with me. So that's when you have to be like, oh well, not meant to be, because these are the signs. I think they're like signs. Getting told like, hey, not the one. Here's another sign. Okay, you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen to me. So pay attention to these things, like especially if they're stalking you. Come on now, like, hey, I drove by your work, your car's not there. Why are you stalking me? You know, who's on your phone? Who messaged you? Who did this? Come on, like, who would want to live like that? Like my phone goes off all the time. I have notifications from clients, from people, like my sister, my mom, like my little brother was messaging me not that long ago. Like, I wouldn't want to be like, yo, it's my little brother. Like, chill the fuck out. I wouldn't want to be like that. Um, so and and I'm saying this, like, if I gave you a reason to be like that, then okay, I get it. But if you're just like that just because just insecurities, that's something I'd be like, hey, yo, I really don't like that you're doing that. Like, I've given you no reason to be like that, but yet you accuse me of all this. So definitely pay attention to your boundaries and your red flags. Doesn't matter how much you romanticize that person, how good looking they are, whatever the case may be. Things only get worse from there. So consistent negativity. Discuss the determine that or detrimental effects of consistently negative attitude or pessimistic outlook on a relationship. Encourage partners to address underlying issues, work together to cultivate a more positive and supportive environment. Like, don't you guys hate those people who are always negative? You know what I mean? they have they have something to complain to about everything or everybody. You know, something like this. Oh, can you believe this person? This, can you this, and well, did anything positive happen today? Like why is it always negativity? Like I get it, negativity sells. We remember the negative parts, but or someone who's always like down and negative, talking bad, like, oh, hey, let's go do this. Ah, no, like why do we got to do that? Oh, this, and instead of being like, yeah, let's do it, let's try it. I don't want to be around somebody who's constantly negative, or not even just like in a relationship, just like people around me. If you're a negative person, like always complaining about some shit and always complaining where you are in life, but not really doing anything about it, that's your problem. That's not my problem. I'm worrying about me. Um, and if you're gonna sit there and just talk negative, be negative about it, oh, I always a hard time for you. We've all been through hard times. We all have our ups and downs. Nobody's life is perfect. Some days we're up, some days we're down, but it's how you uh, maneuver through this thing we call life. It's not easy. Nobody said it's gonna be easy. Sometimes you're feeling a type of way, sometimes you're feeling great. You just never know. So, uh, negative people, especially if you catch that negativity in the beginning, ooh, shit's gonna get worse. Negative and negative, negative, negative. Like, uh, Joe Rogan was talking about it on his podcast. He's like, I avoid negative people at all costs. Like, negative people, you're gone, gone, and that's how it should be, because again, they only get worse. They don't get better. Like, if they don't fix whatever is making them negative on the inside, they're gonna continue to be negative. They're gonna be negative about everything. So that's why it's something you're either gonna have to leave or help them fix. So, all right, the next one we have is stonewalling. This one's a good one. Stonewalling, explore the damaging impact of stonewalling, where one partner shuts down communication, refuses to engage in conflict resolution, discuss healthier ways to address conflicts and disagreements in a relationship. Guys do this a lot. Something comes up, you've seen it. Something's bothering the guy, and you ask him what's bothering him, and they're like, nothing. Stonewalling. Oh, what's bothering you? Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything is not fine. That's him saying, nope, nothing, not fine, not good. But they're gonna tell you that because it's more of a machismo thing, like keeping those emotions in, like not talking about your problems. They'll be like, oh, everything's fine, and you clearly know something's bugging them. That's why this is something that you need to tell them. Be like, yo, if we're not gonna talk about this shit, if you can't talk about your things, your issues, then we're not meant to be. We're not meant to be together. I'm not gonna sit here and be like wondering why you're upset, and you never telling me why you're upset. You're just expecting me to find out why you're upset. Bringing up like having that type of argument, instead of just the argument where this person doesn't say anything. Let them know. Be like, yo, like this ain't gonna work if you don't talk about your issues. How am I supposed to know what's bugging you when you don't fucking tell me? Right? So bringing those things up and telling them that you do not like that. Uh, Guys need to be put on the spot too, because a lot of guys are like that. Something comes up, stonewall. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to talk. They don't, nothing. And then you just let him get away with it. Meaning like, all right, he doesn't want to talk about it now. Maybe he'll talk about it later. Not gonna happen. Come on, let's be honest. Um, so that's why you need to bring it up. You need to tell him, and you need to tell him that you're not gonna tolerate that type of behavior, because it's only gonna continue. So, and the last one that we have is ignoring red flags. Explore the importance of recognizing and addressing red flags early in a relationship rather than ignoring or rationalizing them away. Encourage their instincts and prioritize their emotional well being. Okay, red flags. We've all seen them, we've all been blind to them. And if something happens like that, we cannot blame anybody else but ourselves later on. Like if we see a red flag and we ignore it, thinking that maybe they're gonna get better, or maybe it was just like a one-time thing, or maybe like it's not gonna continue. Yeah, it's gonna continue and it's gonna get worse. Okay, things that are your red flags, because everybody has like slightly different red flags, and they're, especially if they do it in the beginning. Girl, what makes you think like a year down the road, 2 years down the road, they're not gonna continue with the red flags, or they turn worse? For example, if you say for some reason you catch him talking to other girls while you guys are being exclusive or dating, and you're just like, oh, it's fine, like he's gonna stop eventually, instead of being like, yo, you keep doing that, we're done. This is it, over. If I see you talking to another girl, accommodating, flirting with them anymore, we're done. And then he'll be like, oh shit, my bad. Like, can't do that anymore. So, and just like things like that, like pay attention um, to the red flags, and just, it doesn't matter if they're small in the beginning. Something small, you need to nip that in the bud right in the beginning. As soon as nope, not happening. And if that little red flag, you like correcting that little red flag that you don't like, scares them, that person was gonna leave eventually. It was only a matter of time. But someone who, like I said, wants to be with you, you'd be like, oh fuck, my bad. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to scare her away, or have her like go find somebody else. I'm trying to be with her. So again, everybody's gonna be different. Everybody's gonna have their different things that go on with the relationship. But at the end of the day, it's, if you bring something up, the other person should be willing to like fix the issue. Not fix it, because you can't necessarily fix everything, but at least find some sort of compromise where you guys can both be happy of where things are at. Having somebody communicate with you, like, but I think the biggest thing is not letting a lot of these guys get away with things in the beginning, like any of these examples, because if you start nipping that in the bud right in the beginning, it's gonna fix it, especially if they want to be with you. If they don't want to be with you, they're, like I said, they're gonna leave. It was only a matter of time. If this accelerated it, was the catalyst for them leaving, bye. Okay, like at least you knew now. Only wasted a month with this person, 2 months with this person, instead of spending like a year, 2 years, and then finally bringing it up and it's an issue, and it just ruins the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, bring it up, fix it. That way, like, and if they ever start like getting more and more comfortable, no, you need to fix it right away, because you can't let them start slipping, and then fix it. Because then they're gonna be like, well, shit, you haven't complained in like, I've been doing this shit for like 3 months, 6 months, and now you say something, you know? So definitely bring it up if you guys have any sort of issues. And especially if you want your guy to communicate a little bit better with you. So again, I want to thank you guys for always tuning into the episodes. If you guys want to watch and you're still this far, video versions are on Spotify and YouTube, so definitely check us out. Leave us a 5-star or a thumbs up. It definitely helps the podcast. And thank you guys so much. And see you guys on the next one. See you guys.